Donald Trump is now asking to delay his trial. Which trial, you probably ask? I know it is confusing to follow. This is the sexual assault trial that he's currently facing, being accused by E. Jean Carroll. And he doesn't want to have the trial right now, not because he would gladly wait until he's dead and buried and just have it never happen. No, there's a media frenzy, everybody. There's just wall-to-wall media coverage of his legal troubles, and that means that he won't be able to get a fair shake, so they need to delay it. Joe Tacopina, Trump's lawyer, said jurors selected to hear Ms. Carroll's allegations against President Trump will have the breathless coverage of President Trump's alleged extramarital affair with Stormy Daniels still ringing in their ears if trial goes forward as scheduled. President Trump can only receive a fair trial in a calmer media environment than the one created by the New York County District Attorney. A short postponement of the trial will allow the recent surge in media coverage to subside and increase the likelihood that President Trump receives a fair trial. Okay, so they disagree, obviously, the legal team for E. Jean Carroll. They point out what I would like to stress: Donald Trump constantly generates a media frenzy around his issues. Oh, they're gonna hear breathless coverage about Stormy Daniels. Could we go one day without him calling her horse face on True Social and talking about how, oh, if he was going to sexually assault someone, he'd choose someone more attractive? Like, if anyone is biasing jurors, it is definitely Donald Trump. And also Tacopina, who goes in the media all the time. So I think this is totally see-through. Hopefully the judge agrees. But Anna, what do you think?
Is Tacopina the guy who he looks like he could be? I don't know. I don't want to say anything offensive, but he's just
anti-Italian. You don't want to do that?
No, I wasn't even thinking that. Although I think he is Italian. No, he just seems like he might not have passed the bar, and I think someone should probably check first. You know what I'm saying? Like his media appearances really make me question whether he's like a legit lawyer.
Well, I mean, he's a Trump lawyer, so that is
right.
A select few at this point.
He's just a little bit disastrous for his own client. That's all I'm saying. But anyway, putting that aside for a second, look, if this is a common tactic in investigations and court cases and prosecutions, they like to try to delay, and the hope is by delaying, I don't even know that you'll get some sort of advantage in the prosecution or in the trial. In this case, it's a civil lawsuit. I think that Donald Trump has made so many enemies and he's broken so many laws that he doesn't really have much power at this point to stop this wave from taking place. Yeah. And I love to see it because honestly, during his presidency, I really started to question whether there would ever be any justice for people in positions of power or for former politicians. It just felt like certain people could get away with literally everything. And now that it seems as though, no, there might be some justice in regard to Trump's criminality, makes me feel a little bit better about our criminal justice system, but we'll see.
A little bit of hope, not too much necessarily.
Exactly, a little bit, yeah.
But yeah, you do like to see them moving towards it. Look, they could argue that they're going to do the media thing. It's absolute BS. Donald Trump is never not surrounded by a media frenzy, generally of his own causing. He'll create some insane other scandal if it's in a month. So what's the difference? It's possible that they're trying to delay it so that he can become president again, and in his mind become immune to these sorts of things. This isn't a federal trial, so I don't know exactly how that would even matter, but maybe that's what they're thinking. Maybe they just think, just wait as long as possible, and then as we get more into the election, especially the general election, he can then claim that it's a partisan thing, even though he'd be the person who delayed it. There's a lot of reasons they might be pushing for this, but hopefully people won't fall for it.
Let me jump in with one other reason why these delays take place. So especially in civil lawsuits, if you are the person who is bringing on the lawsuit, or even the party that is being sued, it is extremely expensive when these cases drag on because you need to have the lawyers on retainer. And so there is a possibility that they're hoping that Carroll gives up because of how expensive the legal fees are. That is a very real possibility.
Yeah, 100%. I am assuming that she is not a billionaire like him, nor has she been handed hundreds of millions of dollars from their fans. So we'll see. I'm going to close with this. To give you an idea of how this trial might play out, here are some of the questions that the Trump team is looking to ask prospective jurors. The first, do you think that the Me Too movement has gone too far? The second, are you familiar with the allegations made against Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh before he was confirmed to the court? So they are trying to weed out anyone who thinks that sexual assault is a bad thing. That's what this is intended to do. They're looking to, I don't know, have Andrew Tate's extended bro squad on the stand and no one else. That's what this is about.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.